July 28, 2025. A date Cartoon Network fans of all ages will remember fondly. Because that was the day the wonderfully Weird World of Gumball released on Hulu before officially releasing everywhere else on October 6th. And in case you don't know, this is a pretty big deal. Because the last time we heard anything from Gumball prior to that moment was literally 7 years before. Unless you want to count the spin-off shows, but you know, they're clip shows, so they're not really worth anything. I've been a fan of The Amazing World of Gumball for a very big part of my life. In fact, if you remember my last video, which you probably don't since only 13 people saw it, but if you were one of those 13 people, you might remember that I ended up asking my parents for a VPN so I wouldn't have to wait a whole 3 months just to see the show. And even though that didn't end up happening, well, my dad still find a way to let me watch the show earlier. Please don't call the cops. I don't want to go to jail. Please. Anyway, since I managed to watch the show earlier than everyone else did here in Italy, I thought it would have been a great idea to share my thoughts on the current 20 episodes that released. I'm not doing a ranking video, that's something for another day. I do have a little something planned, but it's gonna take a while. I just wanted to make a small little review of the show so far. I don't have any scripts on me right now, I'm just saying the first thing that comes to mind. This is all unscripted. Right now, I just want to tell you what I think of the show personally. Okay, enough stalling, we've stolen enough. Let's get straight to the point. Is the show any good? Oh, you can bet it is! I still don't get why they changed the name to Wonderfully Weird, because the show is still as amazing as ever. Okay, in all seriousness, I do know why they changed the name of the show, since this is a different show. We all thought it was going to be just season 7, and it ended up being a whole separate show. But it basically counts as a continuation to The Amazing World of Gumball, and it's basically the same thing, right? Still as incredibly entertaining as I remembered, and it's safe to say that Gumball is back, and it's here to stay. Okay, now to be fair, this isn't 100% like The Amazing World of Gumball. There are a few little changes that I managed to note. For example, the animation is way cleaner than it used to be. Which, you know, I guess it is to be expected. I mean, it's been 7 years since the last time we've seen these guys. But still, that doesn't mean it's not impressive. Especially since the animation in the original show was always spectacular. I especially always loved how they managed to blend all these different animation styles together without ever making it feel too distracting. And a lot of the visuals there are incredibly breathtaking, even by today's standards. And this show basically just decided to take the animation quality from the original one, and then raise it up by like 10 levels. I love how the character movement is a lot more fluid and crispier, and every single scene in this show feels so colorful and vibrant, and I don't know, I can't really tell why this animation is way better than the original. All I can tell you is that I love it. Another big change I really liked in this new season is how everything feels a lot more absurd. And now, to be fair, The Amazing World of Gumball was always absurd. I would like to remind you that this is a show about a blue cat and a fish with legs, in a world full of bananas, potatoes, floating eyeballs, ghosts, and whatever the fuck this thing is. But, I don't know, this new season just feels a lot weirder overall. And I love it! I love how the writers not only decided to embrace the absurdity, but also elevate it by like 100 points. And the final result is something so incredibly insane that you just can't help but enjoy it all the way through. Oh, and this is a pretty minor change compared to the other ones I said earlier, but Gumball and Penny are a lot more obsessed with each other than what I remembered, and honestly, it's adorable. Please, can we get more of this? I really like this. But by far the biggest change was definitely the voice actors, which was also kind of a necessary change. Nicholas Cantu and Kristen J. Simons, the voices of Gumball and Darwin, hit puberty, and Kayla Ray Kowalski, the voice actress for Anais, decided to quit and go to college to become a lawyer. So yeah, replacing the actress was kind of the only choice they had. But that's regardless the point. Are these new voice actors good? Yeah, I'd say so. The worst one was Akala Fiala's Gumball, who wasn't even that bad, he was just the weakest out of the three. With the reason being that he's the one that sounds the least like the actor that preceded him. He still sounds pretty accurate, his voice is just a little deeper compared to the other Gumball actors. The second place goes to Kensasyet Khan, I hope I said it right, who is the actress that now plays Anais. In my opinion, she sounds incredibly similar to the original voice. I just feel like some of her lines could have been delivered better. But hey, she's a child, she's pretty new at the job. For all I care about, she played a great Anais. But my favorite out of the three was definitely Hero Hunter as Darwin. He manages to sound nearly identical to the Darwin actress that preceded him, while also delivering his lines with the right amount of cuteness we came to expect from Darwin. Overall, these two actors did a pretty great job and are perfect additions to the cast. The new actor for Banana Joe, on the other hand, Terry forgot her apple core! No offense to the new actor, whoever they are, but it's gonna take me a while before I get used to them. But that's enough changes for one show. No one likes it when a revival is too different from the original, unless that revival is She-Ra, in that case, lesbians ahoy. Luckily, for the most part, this show manages to maintain the charm and appeal of the original to a T, especially in the comedy department. Absurdism isn't the only form of humor the show has. I love how it manages to make fun of real-life problems such as AI and corrupt politics without ever feeling too in-your-face about it, and all the references they add into the episodes are peaks. I've heard a few people complain about the fact that now there's too much dumb, which is a valid complaint. I mean, it's not like the old show had references to Dragon Ball, Naruto, Harry Potter, James Bond, Star Wars, The Legend of Zelda, Terminator, Spider-Man, Mario. Oh wait, what was that? What was that? Most of the new references are meme and internet culture? Okay, good, that's fair. And what if I told you the old show also referenced Rick Rolling, The Crazy Frog, Pepe Le Frog, Moki Show, Boogie, Flossing, Horror Labyrinth? You get the idea. The Amazing World of Gumball was always packed with references. The only difference is that now people like to complain. And speaking of complaining, I do have a few complaints myself. As much as I hate to say it, the show isn't perfect. Just like I predicted, not every episode was good, and there were a few episodes that were... Not that the episode was actually terrible, except for the distance, but that's a story for another day. But yeah, some of them were a little bit less interesting than others. The biggest complaint I have is... Where the hell is Rob? Where is he? Okay, just to give you context, I'd like to remind you how the last season ended. You know, the episode was about Superintendent Abel, who was, you know, as the name intends, evil, and tried to turn the students of Elmore Junior High into a bunch of realistic human beings. But then once he's finally defeated, we found out that Superintendent Abel was none other than Rob himself, who's actually not as evil as you think, since he did all that for a reason. Everyone ignores him and beats him up because they think he's just making up excuses, but then when he's finally alone, we found out that the reason he was doing all of this was to save everyone from impending doom. But before he could tell us more about this, the ground starts shaking. Rob starts to get more and more terrified as he realizes what was happening. He tries to escape and save himself only to realize it was too late, leaving out the final words "it started" before getting sucked into the void. The episode ends with the terrifying implications of what will happen now that Rob didn't manage to save his friends. Is the void just gonna destroy everything? Is the city of Elmore doomed to fade into existence, never to be seen again? Is this the end of the Amazing World of Gumball?
Cut to, nothing happens.
I have been falling for
7 years.
Now, naturally, once we found out that the show was returning after 7 years, we were alive to see what happened to Rob and what was he trying to save us from. But unfortunately, we still have no answer on that. But hey, if you wanted to know what Principal Brown's ass looked like, well, you come to the right place. Luckily, Bembo Play confirmed that Rob will return in the next 20 episodes. But it's still kind of disappointing that after 7 years, we finally got a chance to know what was happening, only to find out, hey, you need to wait another couple of days before actually knowing what's going on. Overall, though, come on, I'm just glad Gumball is back. I'm not giving it a full rating yet, because I want to wait for the other episodes to release, but so far, I'm really enjoying the show. And I'm sure that if you're a Gumball fan just like me, you're gonna enjoy it too. Or maybe not, depends if you like the references or not. And that's it with today's video. I sincerely hope you liked watching it just as much as I enjoyed making it. This was all from the Charlie Brownies, and I hope I'll see you in my next video. Good night, everybody!